Ooh, Shelly, you need to get on here, Shelly. I'm gonna have. Come on, Shelly. Jump on the link, Shelly. I was watching you. I've been watching you for like the last. Well, I watch you all the time anyway. You know that. But I've been watching you like consistently for the last few days. And I'm sorry, but y'all be having me tickle. You and that brother Jay and that Vivian. Y'all be having me tickled. Like you've been spilling a lot of tea, Shells. You've been spilling a lot of tea. I'm trying to figure like I've been going back and forth between Dovey Gate, uh Aaron B Gate, Florida Gate, toilet tissue Gate, fried catfish Gate. I ain't settled on the gate yet. I ain't settled on the hashtag yet. But mostly I've been using Aaron B Gate. But all I'm gonna say when it comes to this catfish for this Airbnb weekend rendezvous is I feel I'm okay with the catfish fry, but I was with you when you said the next day, whether it's the old already day old cooked fish or whether it's fresh fish that just came out the water. Like, why would you feed somebody the same exact food that they ate the night before the next morning for breakfast? And don't get me wrong,
Girl.
my grandma from the south, and plenty times we grew up with her making rice, fish, biscuits, eggs for breakfast. It was nothing strange for us having catfish for, but this is a $250 trip. This is a if you stop by throughout the weekend, $125 trip. So and
Right.
I'm thinking if the Airbnb costs like a couple of hundred per night, and you charging 14 people almost 300 for the weekend, and charging $125 for people who want to just stop through the house to kick it, who not staying overnight for the weekend, that's a lot of money. And they eating catfish on Friday, catfish on Saturday, and donuts and coffee for breakfast. I would think they would have a like Jay Wilson said. That shit would be so catered. I would have different people there every day. Oh, I would have butlers walking around
No,
there.
you must have missed something. You didn't hear about the catering for from what's it called? Publix? Is that the
Oh
name of the
no!
store?
Only thing I heard about catering was, and I think you corrected that or re-verified that or something, cleared that up. All I heard was about um some Jamaica beef chicken coming from Jamaica and some Subway sandwiches. Am I mixing it
Yeah,
up?
she was saying she had told us when we was on the phone. I think the place is it called Publix? Because I don't want to say it wrong. Publix, right?
Yeah, that's a grocery store, Publix. Uh
Right.
huh.
She said she was gonna have them cater the subs. And so
Oh,
she said she was gonna have, give them the subs and potato chips for dinner. And I'm just saying to me, that's a lunch. If you choose to do that at home, that's fine. But how are you going to give people breakfast, skip lunch, and then when it come down to dinner, you giving grown ass people a sub with some potato chips? It just don't sound right to me. It just don't.
uh,
But what do I know?
well, it, I mean, if it was just like a 1 day event and y'all doing catfish, fried catfish, y'all doing all this other shit, I can see. But a 3 day weekend, I mean, for the amount of money that you spending, you expect certain things. If I'm
Right.
spending $250 for a weekend trip, even if it is a nice Airbnb, I'm gonna expect more than a fried catfish meal on Friday and fried catfish for breakfast on Saturday. I mean, I would just think that you would put much more into it. Even
Yeah.
if
The
it is a
kicker to
barbecue,
everything
hire
is
a barbecue company to come out and grill it up for you, or have somebody cater from a barbecue company, or have somebody. I mean, it's a lot of. I've been to Florida before. It's a lot of nice restaurants there. So I don't know. I would prefer to and I like to cook and bake and all that. And people who know me really well before the Rona hit, we had get-togethers, parties, all that shit all the time, like throughout the year. But that's at home. I'm cool with
Right.
cooking at home, but on vacation where I'm supposed to be like the host and mingling and all that shit with people, I ain't trying to be cooking.
Child, she the cook, she the host, she the Uber driver. I
Mm-mm,
mean, she's the dancer, she's the everything, honey. She is
mm-mm.
everything.
Mm-mm. See, Deanna says she been blessed to have a professional caterer at my fingertips. See, that's the thing. We have a lot of caterers here. Hell, I'm a caterer myself. I'm a personal custom cake decorator, so I do desserts and shit. But for my own, like, if it was something like that, a really big event, like I'm thinking of having a hood event maybe next year up here in the Midwest in Omaha, and it, child, our shit be lit. Okay, like lit, lit, lit. So I'm just thinking about doing that next year. Like everybody else having get-togethers for their supporters and subscribers and shit like that. So I'm thinking about having a hood table event next year, next summer or something like that. But I ain't gonna be cooking, not for a
Yeah,
whole bunch of
no.
motherfuckers. I'm trying to be turned up with y'all drinking and everything else.
Right. And see, that was my whole thing when she was talking about spending the 500 to have the pool area decorated. In my mind, if I have a $500 budget to spend on the decorations, I'd rather take that 500 and get some outside food. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather
Yeah.
put it to better use
Hmm.
versus wearing up, because it don't matter how much you dress up something. You know what I mean? How well you make it look. It's more important things, and you have to put it in to what the priority is. But
Right.
again, I just think that at this point, she's got to be joking about a lot of the stuff that she's saying or trying to do, because there's no way in the world she could be serious. Now, Mr. YouTube Street, he just
Oh,
told
and
me,
I just saw that. I was gonna mention that this Nick. Well, I won't say nigga. He didn't even know that he was supposed to be providing or paying for breakfast for all 3 days.
yeah. And I promise you, I'm not making none of this up. I'm not making none
Well,
of it
Vivian
up.
co-signed it, so I believe you because Vivian co-signed it.
Yeah. And she said that he was paying for it, and then he agreed to do one day. But if I didn't agree to do it, I'm not gonna do one day just because somebody put me into something. I
I'm
just
not.
simply don't know what the hell she talking. That's what I would say, because I'm not gonna come out of my pocket because somebody said my name.
But hold up, Shells. Now you said this man supposedly supposed to do 3 days of breakfast. You said somebody else is supposed to do some
The
Jamaican
man's
jerk
supposed to be
chicken.
coming from Jamaica with the chicken and everything. I don't know if he bringing the grill and everything else too, or what. Has she
So
ever met this man? No.
hold up. Let me get out my Medea calculator. Um, 14 people times 250. That's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
money.
Yep.
That's a
You
lot of
already
money.
know the
14
math.
times 250. That's $3,500. Now you're charging 125. Let's say 10 people show up. That's 125. 125 times 10, that's another 1250. That's like $5,000 right there. And the Airbnb is only like 1,000 or so for the weekend.
Yeah, a
So that's
thousand
like
fifty
four
dollars.
thousand dollars more. But you're only providing catfish on Friday, catfish on Saturday, some Subway sandwiches, and some chips, and some coffee, and some donuts. What are the people who's coming by with the $125? What are they paying for?
They're supposed to be able to have breakfast and also whatever the dinner is. But when I asked her, what are you cooking? Like for so and so day, I'm just throwing it out there like Monday, what's gonna be the meal? And then it's like when you push her or press her, it's, oh, well, I was gonna go to Publix and get some subs and get them some chips to go along with it. But I don't have to worry about Saturday's food because I had some people coming down from Jamaica. I got a bunch of people coming from Jamaica and they're gonna do the jerk chicken. I'm like,
Well, see,
what?
that's what I'm saying. If you got somebody catering chicken, you got somebody supposed to be doing breakfast all 3 days. all this money that you're collecting, what is it going towards?
Hmm.
Besides the catfish and the donuts and the coffee and the Subway sandwiches.
Well, the donuts was for the first place
Oh,
when they were supposed to be in the hotel.
oh,
And that's when she said she was going to give every room would have their own box of donuts as though that was something special. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to give them a diabetic coma for breakfast. So then when we were talking about the continental breakfast or whatever, I was giving her ideas like try to give them something that can hold them, especially if you're going to be skipping lunch or whatever.
mm-hmm,
But also give them a variety, you know. But
mm-hmm.
she just, I don't know, she's just all over the place. And I really don't care how she wants to do it, but keep my name up out of it with those lies. Because every time she lies on me, I come through and tell some more truth.
Mm.
That's what's been going on. She wouldn't even have been in this situation if she'd have just kept it moving. But no, she wants to keep on coming live and lying.
And like I said, the fish fry. I mean, I would be cool with a fish fry on one of the days. I would be cool with eating fish on one of the days because she made a point there where a lot of Southern people down south they have fish fries. We do that here too. Everybody does a good old nasty fish fry.
Right.
That's cool, but it's like I don't know. For 3 days, you got to make it worth people's money. That's my thing. If I'm stopping by for $125 throughout the weekend, it's like what you have to really put. She needs more.
Structure.
We need child.
Order.
I mean, we need wine bottles. We should be popping like Diddy around there. Wine bottles. I mean, I know you said they ain't supposed to be drinking like hard liquor, right? They can't drink hard liquor.
This is what she told us. I don't know about the no drinking thing. But
Now
also I feel like
black
you
people
have
gonna
to
drink. Child, we gonna drink anyway. We gonna sneak it
you
in our purse.
yeah, you have to give people options too because like my husband doesn't like seafood. He definitely doesn't eat fish at all. Some
Mm,
people have food allergies. Maybe
right,
everybody can't have fish. So even if you're going to have a fish fry, I think it should be like, okay, you have chicken and fish. So would you like
yeah.
fish or would you like chicken? You get what I'm saying? Just like
Hmm.
even if you go to a ghetto cookout, they may have only hamburgers, but you still might have. Do you want a hot dog or hamburger? Do you want a hamburger? Or do you want
Right.
a chicken? You get what I'm saying?
You gonna have
But
beef. You might have pork ribs. You might have beef sausage, hot dogs. You might have Italian. You might have. You
right,
do gotta have a combination. Yeah.
right. But she's too busy worried about what 2 rolls of toilet paper you gonna bring in.
You see what dishing with this says? Hey, heavy bear, dishing with this. He said, it's been given struggle family reunion teas. Oh,
Oh,
child. You know what, Shells? I'm like a party person. Like I'm sure you met some of my local friends who do my shows with me, and we
right.
every now and then we talk about the parties we throw because we throw parties all the time here. We have like a group called Grown Folks No Host Barred. That's like the name of our little club or per se. But anyway, besides that, I like five, no, like 6 years ago, I threw a family reunion for 400 people. I live in Omaha, Nebraska. The reunion was in Memphis. I had to do everything from Omaha. I'm talking hotels. I'm talking vendors. I'm talking about balloon houses, bouncy houses. I'm talking about parks. I'm talking about there's all kind of shit. Collecting money for 300-400 people, family members. I did that shit from Omaha, and it was successful. I mean, it was so successful. I couldn't believe we pulled the shit off. And I'd never been to Memphis in my life before then. I didn't know where nothing was. I didn't know no stores, no bars. I didn't know where nothing was. I just had a little help from people who stayed there, and we collaborated and we got the shit together. So I know I can be really good at planning something like that. But as soon as I saw like it going sideways, I try to get my little tips and comments in the chat, but I'm gonna keep my shit to myself because I don't want to like I don't want to be involved. And I we didn't even. Well, I guess maybe some of us saw this coming how it kind of spun out of control with people trying to
Hmm.
help her and everything. But I'm
Yeah,
like, no, I'm gonna keep my 2 cents to myself. I'm gonna keep my two
yeah.
cents
It
to
would just be wasted energy. It would
I'm
be
like,
wasted energy.
But yeah, Dishing with Des brought that family reunion up, and I just got to pat myself on the back for that one because that shit was lit. I mean, it was. We had a whole band there. We had all kind of shit, and I planned it from Omaha, thousands of miles away.
I've done
So
events out of the state. I've done events out of the country. And I can tell you that I have never in my life ever heard of anybody saying, we're going to have leftover fish. How do you should never anticipate having leftover of anything when you're
right,
planning something. It's better to have more than less. Yes, I agree with that. But also there's a problem. If you don't have a head count, you'll never know how much you need of anything. And so
right.
all the people who are saying that she wanted to keep this small and she wanted to keep it intimate, no, 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 no. She wanted to rent beach chairs to put out extra why would you want to be doing all that if you anticipated on keeping it small?
Yeah, that don't sound intimate. I mean, but I'm just looking at, and maybe she shouldn't have. I agree with, even though a lot of you guys don't get along, and some of the guys who've been giving tips, I don't even watch them either. But some people have been giving her good advice. One of the advices that's been really good is, why the fuck is you out here telling everything about the event before it even happens? Like, the
Listen,
only people who should know about the price and all that, what's going to be served and all that, is the people who put put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where you give me a deposit, I'm gonna send you an itinerary. I'm gonna ask
right,
you, what do you prefer? Like events like that, you ask them, do you like seafood? Do you like chicken? Do you like pork? Do you like beef? Do you like
right.
this? Do you like that? That's how you put events together. You just don't be like, oh, we having a fish fry. Like some people, like you said, some people don't eat fish. You gotta have like a buffet. You gotta have fruits and vegetables and cheeses and meats and all kind of shit. Like for this type of event at a really not, well, from what I heard, it's not really that nice of a Airbnb. But you know what I'm getting at.
Right.
Like, and then you got people popping up, people who want to stop by, and that's cool to charge people. I think you should charge people who just want to stop by and kick
Well,
it and
I
hang
was
out.
the one who brought that up because I said, this is just me. If I'm paying to be in the house and I'm
Hmm.
paying to, have room and board and I'm paying to eat, how is it fair for me to pay that, but then the people who are popping up eating the same food or who may go up there and get to pick their food before I get to pick how are they getting to come
Hmm.
and enjoy everything? And then the people who paid, this is essentially their home that they're going to
Hmm.
be opening up to other people. So you
Right.
have to take that into consideration.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Child.
should. You got that right, because when we threw our big reunion event or whatever, we had so much. I mean, it was so much. We had so much. So there were some people who didn't pay, couldn't afford to come. They was calling, and people was like, man, such want to know, they really don't have the money, it's family. It's a family reunion. You better tell them to bring their damn kids and everybody down here. But when it comes to something like this, on this ain't family. This ain't no family reunion. This ain't no birthday party. You got to make sure it's really organized, really planned out. According to how many people gonna be there. Uh, but if I'm gonna plan a whole 3 day event, I'm telling you, we're gonna have different foods throughout the day. We're gonna have different vendors. We're gonna have entertainment, bands, music, all that
No,
kind of shit.
the
And we
entertainment
might even
is
go out.
the entertainment is hula hooping. So I
Oh
mean,
no,
what
we ain't.
entertainment do you really need when you can hula hoop?
Girl. Shh, shh, shh. I ain't hula hooped in how long? Since I was probably, I don't know, 30. It's been a while since I had a hoop or a hulu. The only Hulu I know is Hulu on TV. I ain't hula hooped in a long time. My hips and knees can't do that shit. And a lot of older people can't do that shit right now. But anyway, go ahead and hula hoop, child. Hula hoop.
Yeah,
Shoot,
and then if the
have sack
people
races and all that kind of shit. Egg races, have all that kind of shit.
they're gonna be sitting in the urgent care on Monday when it's all said and done. And if the people say
Oh,
no smoking means no smoking. It doesn't mean
can
no
they smoke
smoking, but smoke
outside?
your weed.
Can they smoke outside? Or is it no smoking period on the property?
From my understanding, it was no smoking altogether. But then she turns around and she says, but if you want to smoke, weed is illegal in Florida. And I'm like, no smoking is no smoking. How you going to tell a person they can't smoke a cigarette, but they can smoke the weed? Smoking is smoking.
Yeah.
I don't know, child. It's just a mess.
And that's like, okay, when we did our little thing down in Memphis, you know where Memphis is right on the border of Mississippi, right? And we have family in Mississippi and Memphis. And at first we had planned for a place in Mississippi, but in Mississippi, a lot of outdoor locations, you can't have beer. You can't have liquor. So we moved the whole event to where we could have liquor, wine, beer, whatever. I'm not going to throw a whole 3-day event at a location where people can't drink or smoke. Right. And then you charge them $250, $125, and all this other shit, and they can't drink and smoke. Like, we ain't going to church.
Right. It's a lot of places here where I'm at where like especially like the parks and stuff, you have to have a permit.
That's what we have to have a permit.
Alcohol. You know what I mean? You have to have a permit. Like, say you want to do like the bouncy bounce or whatever. You have to have a permit for that. Certain things. But even when I asked her, do these people know that you're having an event? Oh, they know that it's some family getting together, but these are not family. These are strangers. You don't know these people.
So they have no idea that she's having like a
social media meet and
greet. Oh, okay. Well, that might make a difference. Because a lot of people don't like you to have parties and things like that. And they're just like these my sons, sometimes they friends, they have somebody rent out these Airbnb, these big mansion houses in our city, and you're not really supposed to rent them out for parties. Like maybe like a weekend getaway, vacation, things like that, but not for no parties. Now I can see if she took like $250 and said, okay, you'll get this much back if nothing's damaged, if nothing's ruined, if you don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of like an incident. What do you call it? Incidental?
Yeah, incidentals.
Yeah, something like that. But from what she's giving right now, for what people are giving right now, I don't know. I mean, I'm with everybody else, I guess. I hope it's successful. But she definitely has to give a lot more for what she's asking people for. And then you say she raised it to 300 or something?
No, she was saying that we were telling her to raise it to 350. When she told us how much she needed for the deposit, she was saying she needed to put down 17 and some change. And I was like, how are you going to put that up with $60 a pop? That's only $800 and some dollars. But this is before we had all the information.
Well, I think you should put down at least half.
That's what I said. If somebody giving 60, they could just change their mind. What's $60 to lose?
Right. And you still gotta pay the rest. So I think if you telling them 250, they should put down 125.
That's that's where the $100 came in, where she's trying to make it seem like I was telling her to upcharge the people. I'm just saying that you're not asking for enough. But this was before I knew that it was only $1,050 for the entire time, which is also a huge red flag, because you have a place with 9 bathrooms and 7 bedrooms, and they only want $250 for the whole place. Well, once I read the reviews, then I understood why.
I heard you read some reviews when they said no hot water. I was like, is y'all going to visit ZX?
Girl.
I'm like, y'all talking about ain't no hot water.
And a lot of the people who are cussing us out, they're only doing it for commentary or because they already don't like us. It has nothing to do with what we're saying versus what she's saying, because they know what she's saying doesn't make any good sense.
But it's not just y'all. Everybody is saying the same damn thing. I mean, I really haven't talked about it, but I mean, I'm thinking it. I mean, some people just not talking about it. Now, what I really can say truly is that I really hope it's successful. I really do, because it looks good towards the YouTube community, you know, for people to have successful events. because
Right.
it kind of makes other people want to have successful events, and you know what I mean, so forth and
Right.
so forth. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know, child. I don't know. I hope it all
Yeah,
goes
she has
well.
to want it to be successful. And when you want things to be successful, you make good decisions.
Mhm,
You take good advice.
mhm.
And when you're choosing to not do that and you're choosing to keep saying out loud things that are absolutely ridiculous, there's no way in the world you want it to be successful.
Well, I even heard you say that she said Brianna was coming.
When she said that, I was like, because all of this time, I've never heard of Brianna getting together with anybody other than Kimmy, right? And so I'm like, Brianna's coming? She was like, well, she lives in Florida. I'm like, no, 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 no. You cannot say that people are coming just because they live in the same state. You
Hmm.
can't do that unless she tells you that she's coming. And she was like,
Well, I
oh,
don't
well,
know
she's
if she
going
told
to
her or
the same
not, but I
city.
did hear Brianna say something, I think yesterday. She said, who knows? I might show up if they out somewhere at some restaurant or something. So she said, I might show up. But to just throw it out there that somebody's coming because they live down the street or they live in the same city. Just like the dude
Yeah,
who's supposed to be fixing the breakfast. When I saw him comment in Jay Wilson's chat that he ain't never heard that he was supposed to be paying for breakfast for 3 days,
baby.
not 1 day, but 3 days. I was like, is this a joke?
That took me out because he even commented on my wall. And I wish he hadn't have agreed to then do one day. I don't want him to feel pressured just because I brought it up. I'm just
Right.
saying what was told. He's
Right.
not obligated to do anything. You know what I mean? Because she's getting donations. She can afford it. You know what I mean? And people are
Yeah.
paying.
Well,
So
that's just like, okay, a lot of people in the YouTube area know that I make cakes and desserts. And that would just be like me, y'all coming to Omaha, and y'all be like, oh, Tanya, she's going to make all the desserts for the weekend. And
right.
you ain't never asked me, but I live here. You ain't never asked me, but I live here. And I just be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll make you a cake. You know, no.
Yeah, it don't work like that.
It don't work like that. Now, if I volunteer, that's different. Because I do volunteer a lot of times. I mean, it's people who be having funerals around here, and I just be like, "Where the funeral at? I'm gonna bring y'all some cakes." You know, I donate cakes all the time, cupcakes, all that kind of stuff, all the time. But just to just volunteer me and not even tell me, like maybe she was gonna get around to it, like she was leading up to asking him but didn't get there yet. But still, you put it out there in the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's why I kept bringing it up. Like I brought it up on my live, and I was like, Mr. YouTube Streets. She said he doing the breakfast or whatever, and and then he was in my chat, so I thought he had heard it, and maybe he just was staying out of it. But so then when April hit the link and was like, he's in the chat right now, and I was like, oh, okay. And then he's saying, well, this is the first I heard about it. I'm like, whoa,
That
you
is
know.
crazy. I'm telling you, I was driving, child. I was driving home and I was listening to y'all on my phone in the car and I was hollering. I was like, what? He didn't even know that he making breakfast. And then when he volunteered, I heard him, or I heard you say that he said, I think he was reading the chat or something. You said, he said he's going to do 1 day. I,
I wanted to do the man in Jamaica know that he coming from Jamaica to Orlando to do the jerk chicken. I don't know. But
and
they
now
said
what's
it's a
why
guy
is he
named.
coming from Jamaica? Is he really coming from Jamaica or is he just a Jamaican in Florida? Or is
She
he really coming from Jamaica? Because that's a lot of money to come from Jamaica just to make some damn chicken.
Well, according to her, he lives in Jamaica, and they said some people said that he was in her chat, and his name was Patrick. But people say they're gonna do stuff all the time.
But
Doesn't mean that they really do it.
ain't your name Lisa?
Yeah, that try, honey. She may have told him. I ain't think about that
Please
either.
explain those shells. Please explain, because I was confused as fuck when you was like, she wants me to pretend to be some lady named Lisa. What the hell?
Yeah, she wanted me to be Lisa, and she was like, I'm gonna have Lisa do it. And then that's when Vivian was like, Shell, who is Lisa? I said, the hell if I know. And so she said, do you know Lisa? I said, no. And then she said to Miss Dovey, who's Lisa? And she said, Shelly is. And I said, oh hell no, I'm not. No, 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 no. No, no. That's how it went.
That's crazy because when I saw your you know I watch you all the time. But when I saw your one video and you had Lisa in the title, I almost thought she was talking about Seven. I was like, what's this? What's she talking about Lisa? I was like, what's she talking about? For real, when I saw Lisa and you had put other things in there, but I saw Lisa and I just automatically went to Seven. Like, oh shit, what's Seven up to? You know, because I watch her too. I watch everybody.
Right.
And so and then when you got on there talking about, oh, she wants me to be a Lisa and be in the chat as Lisa, I'm like, what the fuck?
I guess she just wanted me to maybe, like, if she was to call me on the phone, you know, maybe doing her live and say, well, I'm going to call Lisa. I guess I was supposed to be, you know, pretend to be Lisa or whatever. And I'm not pretending to be nobody. No, nope.
So you mean like how Tasha K was always saying she had lawyers?
Right.
She didn't really have lawyers, so she wanted a Lisa.
I just shut that shit down because I was like, I'm not pretending to be nobody. No.
Now, was this after you and Viv had helped her? She wanted you to be a Lisa?
Yes. This is when Vivian was saying that, you know, she needed to have a budget. Not so much that she couldn't go over an amount, but she needed to know how many people was going to be there, how much she would be able to spend, that type of stuff. And then she was like, and then Vivian was like, it may be good if you have a secretary or whatever, somebody to oversee, you know, with the money and stuff or whatever. And then that's when she was like, I'm going to get Lisa to do it. And that's when Vivian was like, Shell, who's Lisa? Do you know her? And I was like, no. And then that's when it turned into, I'm Shelly's Lisa. And I said, no. Nope. Yeah, that's how that
so
went.
Funny. This is so funny.
I mean, you can't make stuff like this up. You know what I mean?
I mean, I was getting my whole life. I'm telling you, I was driving home today and I was just listening to y'all on Jay Wilson panel and I was just getting my whole life. I was like, what? The man don't even know that he's supposed to be coming through for breakfast?
Child, now he probably feel all under pressure. And
but was he coming? Was he actually coming though? Like, was he gonna be one of those?
I don't know. I never heard her say that he was going to be coming. She just said that he was going to cover it. And that was part of the problem. I was telling her, you cannot account for what you cannot see.
Right.
That's what I was trying to get her to understand. She kept accounting for things like, oh, I'm not worried about dinner on Saturday because I got people coming down from Jamaica to do it. And I'm like, you can't, just because somebody told you something one time in the chat doesn't make it true. Right. If they're not giving you the money up front, or if it's not a company that says we're going to sponsor you, you can't just go out on the whim because you're going to be embarrassed. You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to get her to understand. And she was
that's like, and again, I take that back to people just, you know, I'm a cake decorator. People just throwing out there, oh, Tanya coming, she's making some of her delicious cakes. Only one person ever requested me to cater their desserts, and that was Bradley. And that was for the Vegas gate that didn't happen because of the Rona. Yeah. Was that last year? No, that was 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago when Rona started hitting. Right. And because he canceled his shit, Fi canceled her shit, and JW ended up canceling his shit. Everybody like canceled their shit. Deanna canceled her shit. Everybody canceled their shit. But Sean, he was gonna fly me out and have me a hotel and all that kind of shit. And you know, and I was gonna make cakes or whatever down there. But then a lot of shit started happening. The person I was supposed to go with, and I'm like, everybody knows I'm definitely afraid of flying. So the person who was going with me had backed out. And I'm like, maybe that was meant to, everything kind of fell in line because I told him, I said, I can't do it, Sean. I can't fly by myself. I really want to come. I really want to do your desserts, but I cannot go by myself. I can't even go to the airport by myself just for the fear of flying, right? I got to be with somebody. That's how I always fly. And so then the Rona came. And everybody canceled their shit. So it was just like, I guess I wasn't meant to be there anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, nobody ever. But then I always offer like Miss Gina. She had put something together a few years ago, and I said, well, if it wasn't for the Rona, I just come and show up because that's something I love to do. So if you love to cook, if you love to bake, if you love to make breakfasts, and you just want to do the shit, then go ahead and do the shit. Because like even with Deanna, she said she was gonna have something, then she canceled it, and I told her I said I was gonna make some desserts for her. So that's no biggie for me to just come. That's my little contribution to
Right. But
like
see,
yeah,
it would be like if I was having an event, and then if you were in my comment section and you said, "Well, Shelly, I'm thinking about coming. If I come, I'll bring a couple cupcakes." I can't then take that statement and be like, "We got desserts on lockdown.
Oh no,
Tanya's
I'm gonna
coming."
ask you for a whole kitchen wherever we.
Right.
I don't care if it's at your house, the hotel, the Airbnb. I'm gonna ask you for your whole kitchen because I gets down with the desserts. Okay, I ain't bringing shit. I'm bringing my supply.
Right. But it can't just because somebody mentions something in the chat, like it's a possibility I may
Right.
come. And if I
Right.
do come, I might, you know what I mean? You can't just take that and write it down and be like, okay, desserts is taken care of without having a separate conversation and say, hey, Tanya, if you do come, how many cupcakes are you willing to bring? Or how many cakes are you get what I'm saying? You already know
Right.
what it is. And I'm
Yeah.
not by trade, I'm not a chef, I'm not a baker, but I know because I worked in catering for a long time, I know enough how to get by. So with some events, especially for like friends and family, especially if they were on a tight budget, I would then turn around and do a lot of the stuff, but that's only if the money was not there. Or
Right.
let's say if their money was a little funny, I may go order cupcakes from like a grocery store where it's a lot cheaper than a bakery. I may
Right.
take it out and put it in my little cute like cupcake racks and stuff like that to make it look a certain type of way, because it's all
Right.
about
It's all about your
presentation.
appearance and presentation. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's what that was about or whatever. And at first I was wishing her the best, like, okay, I hope it all works out. But once you start lying on me, I don't give a damn how it goes and how it goes down. I don't care.
Jay Wilson had me cracking up. He said, I don't care if it goes well. I don't care if it flops. We're going to talk about it either way.
And if she can keep talking about me, then I can get me a click and a view as well. Period.
But she really, I know I had heard her say, she's getting her click and views. And she mentioned that she's going live like way more than she used to. And every time she come on, she's talking about this event. So me personally, I do hope that I really do. I mean, I ain't got no dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying? I hope it goes well for her. I hope it goes well.
Child, we're gonna still be talking about it because if she has it, it's gonna be a hot ass mess.
If somebody gonna have video. She done pulled that shit off, y'all. She done pulled it off. If it's good, I'm like, oh shit, Dobie. Now she about to be a party planner.
She said she already won. She said she got a whole business. She a party planner. Okay.
Oh, so why she need all y'all help?
She didn't need it. We was trying to force her to do it that way.
Oh, okay.
This is what she does. So, she know what she doing. She got it all on lock.
That's crazy. I did not know she was a party planner. Because it doesn't come off that way.